Hi, everybody. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm Morning Mayan, Linda West, and today I'm going to talk about 75 hard. Okay, if you don't know, I'm going to briefly tell you what 75 hard is. It's a challenge for 75 days in which you do 5 things. The first is you pick a diet of your choice, and the second is you stop drinking. Third is you work out twice a day for 45 minutes each. One of those has to be outside. The fourth thing is to drink a gallon of water. And the fifth thing is to take a picture of yourself every single day. So let me tell you how this went for me. And honestly, here's how it went for me. I'm going to be totally straight up. So here I was. I'd gone to Cancun and literally had just debauchery straight up, like too much eating, too much drinking, all of that. So I was like, oh man, I'm going to clean out. So I'm going to stop drinking for a while and go on some, I wanted to go do something a little healthy, like cleanse out. And then I heard about the 75 hard. And I was like, well, I'm already not drinking. I'm already started a little diet. Why don't I just get on this thing and do the rest of it? I forgot that you have to read. I forgot the fifth thing. You have to read a nonfiction book for 10 pages a day. I decided I was going to do walking as my workout and then supplement it with some yoga and some weights at home. I kind of live out of the way someplace, and I have a nice lake in back of me, and I really don't like to, go to the gym. To tell you the truth, I'm not a gym person. I like to be organic about like my life. So this is kind of the lazy person's version to succeed at 75 hard. So let me tell you first off, the reason you succeed is you finish it. And the guy, and this is so horrible, you're gonna have to look it up. I don't even know. The guy that's famous for starting this, he's really militant about everything being done the way he says, because he has reasons for that. That said, straight up out of the gate, I'm gonna tell you, I did not follow it exactly, and here's how I changed it. One, I have been, on and off model my whole life. And, you always have to kind of watch your weight, stay in shape, blah, blah, blah. I always found the worst thing you can do when you're trying to like take off some weight or put on weight, whatever, or muscle, is to like examine yourself every day. It's just, you go up and down all the time from, things that don't have to do with the success and that you're garnering. So I found that it ended up not really being good for my psyche to constantly looking at the weight or constantly looking at pictures of myself that closely. So I just decided to do it like 6 times throughout. Instead of doing nothing, I substituted that with affirmations or something spiritual. I like to either do affirmations in the morning, I'd listen to mass affirmations as I walked, or I would do something spiritual such as meditate or do my sound healing. I have crystal bowls. Well, I have crystal balls too, but in any case, I just decided it was my program after all, and I wanted to make it mine. Some people call that 75 soft, but I don't think it was easier, so I'm not going to call it soft, okay? Anyway, judge me if you will. The other thing is, he says, if you do anything or miss anything, you have to stop and start over. I just honestly don't agree with that. Now, that said, I did do everything, as long as I could. I got mixed up with the dates. I thought it was already done, then I kind of went back on it. So I did kind of go off unknowingly toward the end, but got right back on. But the bottom line is, the great thing about this is you love yourself. I mean, you love yourself when you're doing this. You're so proud of yourself because it's all about taking care of you, mind, body, spirit. The spirit part was missing for me enough, which is why I added it. But definitely taking, a 3-mile walk first thing in the morning in nature was incredibly spiritual. So I love that, and I really recommend that daily for everybody. But it's just, a lot of times you had to like do things you didn't want to do. Go out and work out in the rain, or when you weren't feeling your best, or when you were just over it and bored, or you're already like you just don't feel like not having a drink when everybody else is celebrating a birthday or something, or you just want to have a piece of darn pizza, you know what I mean? And it's like, so I'm just going to urge you that if you do break, don't give up and go right back on, because my first book I read, and I'm going to segue to this, was Atomic Habits. And the 75 Hard, what it does is it creates these great habits. And so one of the things they talk about in Atomic Habits is that once you get in a good habit of doing something, that like if you fall off for more than like 3 days, you actually start to go back to the old habit you were in. So you really want to catch yourself. So I didn't want to give up just because I made a mistake unknowingly, or like I had pizza that one night because that's all there was around me. Well, I'm going to say that anyway, but whatever. The bottom line is I was a success. I managed to read 3 different books. Let's go there. I read Atomic Habits. I read The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Bleep, that both of these are hugely famous. And then I read The Tao of Pooh, which if you haven't read it, I totally recommend you reading this, because The Tao of Pooh is one of my favorite books. I read it a long time ago, and this gave me a chance to reread it. Reading became one of my greatest pleasures, and honestly, after the 75 Hard, now I'll get to this, there were some things I kept doing and some things I didn't. I wish I would have continued to be militant about my reading, and I have to get back on that. So let's say, well, let me see what I can tell you about. Okay, my diet. The diet I chose was pretty flexible because I'm kind of a healthy eater anyway. I always want to get in at least a salad a day. Every meal I try and have at least some kind of vegetable, if not more. And I only eat organic meats or fish when I do. And let me see what else. So what did I do different? I went gluten-free, which was very interesting. In fact, then I also went sugar-free. And so I would highly recommend both these things, because it's one of the best things you can do for your body is to get off of sugar. And because a lot of bread and white things like turn directly into sugar, like some of the most tasty stuff like that darn pizza dough, it goes to directly sugar, so you might as well be eating sugar almost. So the gluten-free is more complex grains that don't turn straight to simple sugars. So I learned to cook with those. I bought some new things. There's a lot of things that are sugar-free because there's so many people that are, suffering with diabetes. And the bottom line is your pancreas deals with most of the sugar in your body. And as you know, pancreatic cancer is one of the worst. And nobody really knows what it is. But my gut feeling is it's sugar-related. So I figured your body sees sugar literally as poison, so I said, why don't I try going no sugar? I have to say, I think that was one of the best things I did for my body, and I have continued to stay off of sugar. And even when I do want to break down and have something that has real sugar in it, because really there's sugar-free chocolates, like Chalk Zero, man, you can get chocolate, I have these gold balls that are sugar-free, and you put them in the, hot milk or organic milk. I used macadamia nut milk, I think, and the chocolate ball breaks open and little marshmallows come popping out, and all of this is sugar-free. So it's like you can have everything, and when you're not eating sugar every day, the new sugars that are out there, the sugars that they've discovered in the rainforest and fruits, they do not raise your glucose level. And it's like, this is great for kids, by the way, because sugar is so bad for little kids because their little bodies can't take it. And they go crazy, and then they drive us crazy. Hello, sugar-free chocolate, sugar-free hot chocolate, sugar-free jam. It's good. Sugar-free barbecue sauce. You can really just get away with going sugar-free. It's easy. I recommend it for total health. And so, yeah, I totally recommend this diet. And I lost, all in all, I lost 10 pounds altogether on this diet. And I'll talk about the results very quickly. But so what did I do to work out? as I mentioned, I'm kind of a lazy workout person. And also, my father was a phys ed coach. I was a gymnast my whole life, pro cheerleader kind of thing. I've had a lot of high impact in my life now that I'm going into those boomer years. I decided that low impact is the way for me. So I walked. I decided I was already walking like 4 miles a day. I decided to up my miles. So I started walking for, 2 45-minute periods. And then I started adding another one because I was getting bored during the day and I wasn't working. So, hey, anybody that's working, God bless you for getting on this, because it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of energy. And if I, needed to get up and work, or take care of children, it would have been much more difficult. So if you're not totally like retired like me, then that's going to be a whole other challenge that I can't speak to. But for all of you older folks that have some extra time and are retired and maybe think, hey, I can't get in shape at this time of my life, I'm going to tell you, I was so surprised what 75 days of constant, diligent, good eating, good habits, good, exercise, and good thoughts, what it did for me. So I ended up, by the end of it, walking sometimes 10 miles a day. Like, I know it sounds crazy. That sounds crazy. I watch people, what, 20,000 steps a day? You must be some weirdo. No, I wore out 2 pairs of Skechers on this trial. I did. But the walking, it really worked for me, because I'll tell you why walking, you should look this up. It is so magical what it does to your whole body. And for me, I don't like to work out half my body. Like on the bike, what about the rest of me? You know what I mean? Or just rowing, same thing. When you're walking, you're moving your entire body. So, and then I would come home, do some yoga and stretching maybe at night, and do some weights, like lifting, like small weights, in different ways. Again, I'm not super muscular. I probably could have done a little more of that. And if you're after that, the best thing about this is you can make it about you, and you can make it fit your world. And in the end, it's your life, and all these great things that you start habits in, you get to choose if you want to keep doing them. In fact, so let's go to the results. Here's the biggest problem when I got off it. I didn't want to get off it. I felt guilty not like being a perfect on my diet. And I felt guilty, to have, a glass of wine the first time I had it. And I felt guilty, like not doing my workouts. And luckily I was going back to Cancun, which is really why I did this, because I had these back-to-back trips, one for my birthday, one for my sister's engagement. And so I was in the middle. I'm like, I better do something, which is why I went on the 75 hard. So then I knew I was going to Cancun. I was like, oh my God, I don't want to gain all the weight back. I don't want to, all these bad habits to erase what I did. And I just have to say, it didn't. I went to Cancun. I came back, I think a little thinner, oddly, believe it or not. In any case, so here's my results. My results are, I read 3 books. And honestly, I'm going to keep reading books. Everybody should read more books. You feel so good after you read a book. I have no idea what it does to everything inside you, but it's amazing what it does. It takes you to another land. It makes you a better speaker. It makes you a better communicator. And it spins you into a different world that's just not digital all the time. And it's really special, super special. I totally recommend it. That said, I think they should have, added in that you could read fiction as well, because reading is just great for you. That said, I'm really glad I was forced to read nonfiction, and I loved all the books I read. Okay, moving on. What happened with my body? I feel I lost weight along the way. I started out at 132, which was already a few pounds heavier than I normally am. I hover around 128, I think. I'm almost 5'7". And so, but when I came back from Cancun the first time, I was 132, I think. And so then I started doing this. By the end of it, I ended up being 122. I lost 10 pounds, which is a lot, I thought, because part of it hopefully turned to muscle. So part of it, of the fat on my body, hopefully turn to muscle. I didn't do any BMI counts or anything special like other people did, but I just kind of judged by my body and my clothes I was wearing. But because I was on a healthy diet and nothing extreme, and because I was working out consistently, all the weight came off in a really healthy way. And let me see, what's it end up being? 70 days? What is it? 2.5 months? A little more than 2.5 months. So I ended up losing about a pound a week. That sounds really healthy to me, and I didn't feel like I had anything hanging or weird weight things going on, and that can be an issue for some people. And so, which is why it's good to lose it slowly and exercise. So I was really happy with the way the weight came off of me. And honestly, I haven't been 122 since I was in high school. So that was a great surprise. And I just feel like my body got in better shape altogether with the walking and the consistent workout, which is like, who doesn't want that? A stronger, more agile like body. It makes me feel like, no matter what weight you feel good at, like when you feel like you're slinky in your body and you can move it easier, whatever weight that is, that's the best weight for you. So I mostly had a stomach gut issue, and I guess a lot of girls maybe do, but mine was like, even though I was kind of in shape, well, you see my pictures, not super close up now. I wish I would have taken more super body shots, but my big problem I didn't like was my stomach. But that said, once I lost the 10 pounds and it came off all over me, I realized like my face, like my jowls and stuff that I didn't like that were hanging down, they were kind of fat because a lot of that went away, which was super surprising. You're like, you can't get rid of those usually unless you get a facelift. And I'm not against any plastic surgery, but I just would rather not do it until I absolutely have to, right? So that was a really great side effect. And I also thought, too, this is the other thing. Okay, this thing in your eyes, this is total beauty stuff, but vanity, whatever. We like it, right? Women and men, if you hold like this stuff where the upper part of your eye is starting to bag over, oh my God, toxins. I can't believe it. I thought, again, they were like, oh, you should get an eye job because, your lids are whatever hanging over or whatever. And I was like, well, I didn't really want to do that because people that get eye jobs don't look the same. And I was like, oh my God, Catherine Zeta-Jones, what'd you do? You were gorgeous. Or Renee Zellweger. I don't know. The eyes are just so unique. And I really, in any case, didn't want to touch my eyes. And so the great part is that after the not drinking and eating healthy, all those toxins that were making my eyes puffy and hangover, hello, they're gone. I don't need to get surgery on my eyes. Again, this is something that people go spend a lot of money for, change their life for, and surgery. It's like, who wants that? So that was something that, like, for anyone that's older and experienced that kind of thing with your face, I think if you're trying to restore a youthful look and your skin better, this did it. I mean, I can't believe I stopped using all my beauty tools during this time because I didn't have time to be doing everything else I used to do. And honestly, I feel like I look better. I mean, I don't look like somebody, a Kardashian with $100,000 worth of plastic surgery and perfect. I'm also not using any filters. So it's like, hey, I like who I am now, and I like how I look after I did this, and I'm a lot older than most of you probably watching this. So if you just want to look good and you're thinking, gee, I really want to look better, go on this. go on this. Your body will thank you. Your organs will thank you. Your skin and hair and teeth will thank you. Your eyes will glisten and you will feel better about yourself. And that, let's go, the vibration. Everything's frequency, right? Everything is frequency. And when you do this, you feel confident. I work with people all over the world and they'll wanna, I wanna help them restore confidence, but you can't snap your fingers, nor can you manifest confidence no matter how many times you say it, because it's almost to the point where, like, if you have to say you don't believe it, but I'll tell you what, you go on this and you do this every day, you will be confident because why? You earned it. Hey y'all, you made it this far. Thank you. I hope you're inspired to go on your own journey, however that looks, even if it's not the 75 hard. Everything you do better for yourself counts. I love you. I'm wishing the best for you. And if you'd like to see more content like this, consider subscribing and hitting that like button. Like the other guys, we got no lives and no wasting the time. I think I'm flying, but I hit the ground. Mama's on the phone, yeah, she's crying out. I think I'm lying to myself and I'm getting through this hell and how I figure out. Why everybody's got a gun in the hand. It's the stress of the world that's keeping me down. The lack of the love that's making me down. So don't abuse it like your other friends, or confuse it for the bitter end. Don't abuse it like the other guys that got no lives and they're wasting the time. I think I'm flying, but I hit the ground. Mama's on the phone, yeah, she's crying out. I think I'm lying to myself and I'm getting through this hell and how I figure out. I think I'm flying, but I hit the ground. Mama's on the phone, yeah, she's crying out. I think I'm lying to myself and I'm getting through this hell and how I figure out. If you're ever feeling down, don't you ever give up. You got a friend in me, I'm gonna keep you up.